Hi, it's Wasabi, welcome back to the channel. Today's battle's on the Serene Coast map and we've got RavioliAldente, who's back at VII clan. He's in the Kpfw 7, which is the German heavy tank at tier 10. Just joined the mouse at the 100. That's similar to the VK 72 that's Clan Rewards tank, but it's got a slightly different gun and slightly different armor layout, but otherwise visually similar. And what that means is it's got pretty strong frontal armor, particularly the turrets, and as you can see it's got a rear mounted turret which gives you a bit of flexibility in terms of peaking, so you don't have to expose your lower plate. But of course you've got to understand how to use a rear mounted turret, of course, slightly different to a normal tank, so it takes a little bit of getting used to. But, right, so it's taking this sort of initial position to back up the tanks that are going forward. He's top tier in this game, and it's tier 8 to tier 10, and here we go, 703. 2-1, the double barrel tanks come forward, so Ravioli's going to come up and put a nice big round into him. 618 damage. Let's have a quick look at the gun while he's reloading. So 128mm with average damage of 560 and average pen this round of 315. So the VKK, as it's called, it's got a 150mm gun, that's the major difference, but 128 means it'll reload a little bit faster, and it manages to dispose of the 703 too. So it's pretty much made the most of that position. Now he's going to come forward, also having seen the disposition of the enemy coming down this line, and to provide also a bit more direct support for the tanks that are there. So there's an M6Y, which is the tier 9 tank, and the Chrysler Jeff, which is tier 8, who probably won't last very long. And he doesn't, gets taken out by the mouse, so we've got a tier 10 mouse there, and two tier 8s, the VK7501Ks. So a similar sounding name, but quite a bit different to the tier 10. Alright, so it's gone through the lower front plate of the mouse. That's a well-known weak spot, not much the mouse could do about that, but now he's basically ignoring the Kpfw 7 and puts another shot into him. So Ravioli here also being able to hide his lower plate, but the mouse fires back and just hits his tracks. So the mouse goes around the corner. The M6Y there has just been taken out, unfortunately, so Ravioli is now by himself on this particular flank. So just making sure he's got good hold down position to keep his lower front plate covered, and angling here as well, which will cover him a little bit if the VK comes around to the left side. He's waiting for the mouse to come back. Here he comes. Goes nicely through the mouse there, and the mouse has bounced off him. So this is one of the things with these tanks, and when they're a bit unusual layout, people don't necessarily know the armor layout or the weak spots, so it can be a little bit difficult to deal with. But he's having no problem going through the VK75, so obviously being 2 tiers lower, that's no drama. Their armor is not the same. But here he's got the mouse and going through the cheeks there of the turret. Bit of a low roll, but don't worry, he'll take that damage. And he's already clocked up over 3k damage defending on this particular flank here. So there's a VK there on one shot. The mouse has got plenty of hit points still to go, starting with 3300. And he's just looking for that angle without exposing his tank too much. And here comes the VK, should line him up, and he gets the kill. So his team's still down a little bit, 2 tanks down, and just about 1,000 hit points down, so it's pretty even though, although the number of guns difference could pay a change, could make a difference towards the end of the game if they don't change things. goes through the mouse again, gets a good high roll, makes up for the previous one, and he's now got this VK75 coming from on top of him. So he backs up again just to try and get his gun to align. And he doesn't quite get it there, so he decides to go through the mouse instead, which he does. And the mouse now is a one-shot and misses. So this mouse driver really not doing too well, and Ravioli focuses the VK, who misses his round at all. And so far Ravioli's taken 0 damage, and then he's taken another shot on the tracks. He'll finish off this VK without a problem. Goes through the front drive sprocket and takes him out. Now the mouse here thinks he's angling, can't penetrate Ravioli. This is ridiculous. The mouse is firing APCR, so he should be able to pen if he knew where to shoot, and he gets taken out. So Ravioli pretty much has dealt with all this trouble on the 9 line here and taken 0 damage at all, even from the RT that just came in and just tracked him. He bounced around early from Borsig. That's right, yeah, this first round that came in was from a Borsig. We didn't really pay much attention to it at the time, but it could mean that there's still tank destroyers at the back here. But so far Ravioli hasn't been spotted, and you would think he would have been by now, so he's feeling pretty safe pushing forward. Not the fastest tank, of course, but it doesn't mean you can't move, so here he goes, pushing towards the enemy cap. Now, they've pretty much reversed the position, partly due to Ravioli's work, but also the 1-2 line have basically overcome all of the opposition there. So the TD back up there was helping, and but they really relied on Ravioli to defend that 9 line there, otherwise the base would have been overrun earlier. Now he's found an arty, that was the arty shot at him, and he returns the favour and takes out the Batchat arty. And now there's just 2 TDs left. There's the Borsig and the Waffenträger Panzer IV. So doesn't know exactly where they are. Okay, he's found the Borsig. Borsig goes into his tracks, fires a nice shot back at the Borsig, and he's firing HE now to deal with this Borsig. Borsig bounces off him again and then pays the price to be sent back to the garage. So now there's just the Waffenträger Panzer IV left, and where is he? So now the search is on. Is he up that way, or is potentially back down around the corner? You would think Rav would have been spotted earlier, so I'm not sure if that's really where he's at. Oh no, there he is, around the side there. We'll get one more damage shot probably. Get your gun on him, that's it, line him up. 600 damage. That takes Ravioli to just a fraction under 7,500. The Waffenträger goes out, and that is the end of the game. That's pretty amazing. 7.5k damage and 0 damage taken. Wow, pretty massive battle there from Ravioli. 7.5k damage and 5 kills, and he blocked 4,400 of damage. Took 0 damage himself. But you might wonder why he didn't get the high caliber award. You can see here the Chrysler K, that was the tank on his team, so possibly he missed his shot on the tanks that were around him, or he could have bumped him as he was going around. So yeah, if you do any damage or even potentially damage your team, then yeah, that disqualifies you from the award, which is a bit unfortunate. But he did pick up the Ace Tanker Mastery Badge, which is, to me, the mark of excellence there. So in terms of the team, yes, he would have got a high caliber award, no problem. Many times, almost doubled the highest damage on his team, which was the Jagdtiger at 3.2. And on the enemy team, Kranenwagen did 3.6 and a Patton did 3.2, but yet they still failed to penetrate the TDs at the back, I guess. That's how that paid out. Anyway, let's see how his work paid off. 18 shots fired. That's not bad for 128mm gun. 17 hit, great shooting there. 16 penetrations, and he was firing his premium rounds. As we saw, 44k blocked, and he actually made a small profit of 6k. So very nice game for being a tier 10, but having some tier 8s as sacrificial lambs really pays off if you can make it work for you. So great game there from Ravioli, and really interesting, I think, from the perspective that no one could touch him, yet he was right in the face of the enemy there, not hiding behind bushes. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing that. We'll have more great content to follow, and thanks for watching.